back with another banger. Okay, so welcome to this video. Today we'll be looking at chemistry final exam. This is for the 2023 January intake. Okay, so this paper has two sections. Okay, this section A with multiple choice questions. Okay, 40 multiple choice questions. And then there's section B with 4 structured questions. So we are going to answer all the questions in this paper. And by the end of you watching this video, you should be able to answer exam questions very easily. Okay, because we're going to explain the concept in the most easy way. Okay, so you can take a look here. This is section A, 40 multiple choice questions. We are going to answer all of these questions here. Okay, up to question number 40. Okay, and then after we are done with the multiple choice, we go to section B. We have 5 structured questions. Again, we are going to do justice here. Okay, we're going to be explaining the concept as well as solving the questions. So we're going to solve all these questions that you can see here. Okay, so without wasting much of your time, okay, let's start from question 1A there. Okay, so first question says, choose the correct statement about a measurement. Okay, so before you can even check your options, always remember, what do you have in your head about what a measurement is? Okay, so in simple terms, you're trying to remember the definition of a measurement. So what is a measurement? Okay, so a measurement is simply a quantitative observation that consists of 2 important things, a number and a unit. Okay, so if there's a number and a unit, then we're going to call that as a what? As a measurement. So both should be present for it to be called a measurement. If one is missing, then it cannot be a measurement. So for example, if I just write meters, okay, what information will that give me? Nothing, okay? But if I write 5 meters, okay, you understand, okay, I'm measuring distance there and I have 5 meters. So there should always be a number and a unit like that. Right, so now you go to your options, you check A, they're saying a measurement has a number and a prefix all the time. No, okay, the prefix is not all the time. It's just sometimes when you are trying to simplify the number that we have for our measurements, maybe it's too big or it's too small, then we use prefixes. Okay, so even this guy has a prefix, so it can be the answer. Even this guy on D can be the answer. But check the guy on C, says a measurement has a number and a unit all the time, which is what we got from the definition. So the answer there is what? C. Okay, question number 2, they're saying considering uncertainty in measurement, determine the range of uncertainty in the following measurements. So now the range of uncertainty is found by subtracting the upper reading minus the lower reading. Okay, so now how do you get the upper reading and the lower reading? So for you to get those two, you first have to find the uncertainty itself. Okay, so how do you find the uncertainty? The uncertainty is always going to be in the last significant number in the measurement that you've been given. So this one has been given as 500 meters. Okay, so which one is the last significant number here? The last significant number here is this 5. In fact, it's the only one because there's no decimal point, so these zeros are not significant. So now this 5 is the only significant figure that we have, right? Okay, and then now when you go back to the abacus that you did in grade 2-1, we said the first position here, these are ones. Okay, the second one, these are tens, and then these ones are hundreds. So the last significant number is in the hundreds. So it means your uncertainty will be plus or minus what? 100. That's how we get the uncertainty. We just follow the position where the last significant figure is. So if the last significant figure was in the ones, then my uncertainty will be plus or minus 1. If the last significant figure was in the tens, then it will be plus or minus what? 10. That's how you get the uncertainty. So now after you get the uncertainty, you can find the upper reading. So the upper reading will just be the reading that you have plus the uncertainty. And that will just be 600. And then the lower reading will just be the number that you have minus the uncertainty, and that will be what? 400. So now we can find the range of values of I mean the range of uncertainty here, which would just be the upper reading is 600 minus the lower reading 4 Zare, and that will just be what? 2 Zare. So 2 Zare meters will be the range of what? The uncertainty. So you pick option A there as your answer. Okay. Question number 3. In an experiment, an object was weighed 4 times and recorded as 78.7, 78.8, 78.6, 78.7. And then they are saying the true value, okay, for this object was 24.8 grams. Choose the correct description of the above measurements. Okay, so now before I even go to the options, here they are trying to test your understanding of precision and the two types of errors that we have. So we have random errors and then we have systematic errors. Okay, so systematic errors, they happened in one direction. Okay, so meaning that all the measurements that you are going to measure, they'll either be, all of them, they'll either be greater than the true value that you have, or all of them are going to be less than the true value. Then we are going to say that those measurements are affected by the what? By systematic error. So for example, if my true measurement is 5, and then I measure this object and I'm getting 4 point something, okay, 4 point something, 4 point something. In all the measurements that I've made, you can see that all these are less than this. So the error is in one direction. So that is systematic. It can also happen the other way, where if I measure this thing, I'm getting numbers that are greater than 5. I get 10, I get 12. And if all those measurements are greater than 5, then it also is what? Systematic error. Then now, a random error happens in the case where the error of the direction is random. You don't know where it's going to go. So I have this thing that has a true value of 5. I measure it, I find it's 7.1. I measure it again, I find it's 3.9. I measure it again, I find it's 9.2. Okay, I measure it again, I find maybe it's 4.5. So you can see that on these values, the measurements, okay, there are values that are less than the true value. There are also values that are greater than the true value. So it means that these measurements here will be affected by random errors because you don't know where the measurement is going to go. Is it going to be less than 5? Is it going to be um, above 5? You don't know. Oh, so it's like you playing a kabisha bisha with you, right? Yeah, I'm here. Oh, I'm there. I'm here. When I'm here, I'm there. Just like that. So these ones here, they are going to be affected by the random errors. Okay. So now going back to our question, the true value is what? 24.8. And you can see that all the measurements here are 70 something. So meaning that what type of error is affecting this measurement? Systematic. Because the error is in one direction. They are all greater than this. So the error is systematic. So these guys that have random, you can cancel them. Okay, you just focus on this one and this one. And then the other thing is on the precision now. So precision is how close the measured measurements are to each other. Okay, so we can see that, okay, these guys here are just close to each other. They are all 78 point something, right? So they are precise. So the best answer here is just saying that the measurements were precise and they were affected by what? Systematic error. Done. Simple, straightforward. Okay, we also did such questions in the tutorial sheets. The videos are there on the website. So the answer there is A. Question 4. Which of the following statement is true about this isotope? Okay, so now that representation is called a nuclide representation. So we have this element which has a charge of +2. Then I have 88 down, and then I have 226. So the bigger number here is always what you call as the mass number. And the mass number is a combination of the protons plus the neutrons. And then the smaller number is the proton number. Okay, the smaller number is the proton number, or what we call as the atomic number. Okay, so the atomic number, this one here, does not change. Whether you have an ion, you have a negatively charged ion, positive charged ion, this guy here will never change because it's a number of protons. Protons do not move, right? Okay, so we have said this is the mass number. So here they're saying which of the following is true about this? Okay, the mass number is this, and then it has how many protons? 88. Okay, so the answer there is simply D. because the proton number does not change. It doesn't matter the charge that you have. Question number 5, they're saying which law express relationship between gas solubility of a solution and the gas pressure. Okay, so we have gas pressure and the gas solubility of a solution. It's a very common law in this our course. Okay, we've used it, we've solved questions on it. Okay, so the one that connects the gas solubility to the gas pressure is simply Henry's law. Okay, so now this law simply states that the solubility of the gas, okay, in a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of that gas above the liquid. That's what it says. Okay, so meaning that if I have a higher pressure gas, okay, then I'm going to have high solubility of that gas. Okay, question number 6, they're saying which digit is uncertain in the following measurement. Okay, we did such a question on number 1. We said that, okay, for us to find the uncertainty, okay, the uncertainty is always in the last significant figure. So the uncertain digit is always the last significant figure. So now this guy, the way it has been written here, I can see there's a point there. So always check if there's a point or not. So this point here simply means the 0 there is significant. So 0 is the last significant figure here. And the last significant figure is always the uncertain what? Digit. So here, the answer is what? D. Okay, so we are done with question 6. All right, so thank you so much for watching that video. I know you are enjoying and you are understanding. Okay, so for you to actually access the full video solutions to that paper, you can actually subscribe and find them at discretelearning.com. We also have a mobile app that will allow you to download the videos and watch them offline. All right, so Discrete Learning is actually an institute that offers supplementary lessons in all the Premed and NS courses. So if you have any challenges with any of these courses, let's say it's biology, it's physics, it's chemistry, or it's math, we are here for you to actually make you what? Understand. Okay, so you can subscribe for any course that you're having challenges with, and then you're going to be helped to actually pass the exam easily. Okay, so for any of the courses that you're going to subscribe for here, you are going to access fully explained videos to all the tutorial sheet questions. Okay, so I know the tutorial sheets are overwhelming. They have a lot of questions and the like. We've solved each and every question from the tutorial sheet. Okay, and we've explained it step by step so that even a 10-year-old can actually understand. Okay, so you're going to access tutorial sheet solutions. You're going to access full assignment video solutions. You're going to access full videos to the past quizzes and tests that the previous intakes have had. You're going to access full videos to the final exam papers, which are very important. Okay, and to add on that, you're also going to be allowed into our weekly live classes. So these classes are held via Zoom live, where we can just get to interact with your students firsthand. Okay, so that if you have any challenges, you ask us, we explain so that you understand. Okay, and also we are also going to allow you to consult from us. Okay, so if you're having challenges with some concept, blah 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 and blah blah blah, okay, you can actually just inbox us on any of these numbers, and we're going to what? To assist you. Okay, so now the time is moving, the exam is very soon. Okay, so if you'd like to actually register, okay, and learn with us, you're welcome to do so. So just contact any of these 2 numbers here, or you can actually subscribe, okay, by just watching the videos in the description of this video. Okay, so check the description in this video below. You're going to find a video that will guide you on how you can create an account on our website, as well as how you can actually pay for your desired courses. Okay, and when you pay on the website, you're going to access all these at your own time, your own pace, even in your blankets. You are going to what? To learn. Okay, so don't hesitate. Just subscribe and then you'll pass your exam easily. Okay, so for those who have actually never seen our website, okay, you've actually never seen our website, let me just show you here. So just go to Chrome or any browser of your choice, okay? And then when you go there, you're just going to type in discretelearning.com. So this is the website here, okay? This is the website here. So now, when you type in this website, just go to the website. Okay, so if you don't have an account, it will ask you to create an account. So you put in your details, you choose your university, your email, password, and the like. Once you create the account, you can actually log in here. And you can use those same details to actually log in on the what? On the mobile app, where you can download videos and watch them offline. Okay, so when you open this website, you can see the courses that we offer here. You pick any course of your choice that you want to register for. So I clicked on some course here. Okay, so if, for example, you pick math, okay, you just come and subscribe for this course and then open it and then access everything. If you picked chemistry, you can open chemistry. If it's physics, if it's math, anything. So for example, let me say you are a student from Apex. Okay, you pick maths. You can just open it. Okay, and then here inside there are folders depending on the semester where you are. If you're at Apex, so if you're at Apex first semester, use this folder. Apex second semester, this folder. If you are from Unilus, okay, the Unilus first semester, Unilus second semester. If you're from Levy, go there. And then if you're from any other university, okay, you go in this folder here, general mathematics. That's where you're going to find the things. So for example, I'm first semester Apex. I'll just open this folder. Okay, once I open the folder, you're going to see that I'm going to find a folder for topic lessons. Here it is, summarize notes, tutorial sheets and assignments, and then past papers and past quiz tests and exam papers. So here, okay, in this folder here, there are full tutorial sheet videos. So you can just go there, pick your intake, you're going to access them. Here there's some summarized notes, here there are topic lessons. Okay, so you pick whatever you want. Then if you want the past papers as you're preparing for the exam, okay, or for the quiz, for the test, just come here and click past quiz test and exam papers. Okay, so once you open, you go to the video solutions. And once you do that, voila, you'll be inside there where the videos are. And then you just pick the videos that you want to watch. Okay, so they are well labeled here. You can see if it's a test or it's an exam or if it's a quiz. And also here on top, there are these filters. So if you just want to see the papers for the past quizzes, you click there. The quizzes will appear. You can see them there. If you want the test, you click there, they will appear. If you want the exam, you click there, they will also appear. So these are just exam past videos here, tests, quiz, and it's the same in all the courses. Okay, so you can actually subscribe for any of the course that you like. Okay, or the course that you're having challenges. If you want, you can actually subscribe even for chemistry. Okay, and it's the same setup. You choose your semester. So I'm Apex semester 1 today. Okay, once I open, okay, you can see topic lessons, tutorial sheets, past quiz, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you want the papers, again, just come here. Okay, open the papers. You're going to find the papers. Okay, and then you go to uh, the video solutions. Okay, so video solutions, you're going to find the past paper videos and the topics. So any course that you want, you're going to find the same similar setup. Okay, so don't hesitate. Okay, we have everything that you need for you guys to pass. You can subscribe and you're going to pass. So if you want to contact me, my number is 0779 96 40 and then 10. So that is Tutor Poul Solutions. Okay, and then if you just like to subscribe without the need of any of my team members, just check the links in the description here below. They're going to show you how you can do that. Okay, otherwise, I wish you all the best in your next assessment. Okay, and this has been Tutor Poul Solutions. Until next time, always there for you.